What up? It's your boy RPG. Red, purple, gold. Kilos. Panoramic roof. Bitch, I'm red, purple, gold. RPG. My strength will never fold. My height is never frozen cold. I'm the best. Yeah, that's what I've been told. 1, 2, 3. My voice has been freely sold. Luxury of my life is all I know. It's all I know.
Hey, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy, RPG, Red, Purple, Gold, and we are here with another episode of Artist on Artist Spotlight, and I'm so glad that you guys could all be able to join us today. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Ira, everybody else that is joining us live, and anybody else that does. Let's just get some easy stuff right out of the way at the top. Guys, if you haven't already, make sure and get subscribed to the Bozy World YouTube page. Turn on all of those notifications so that you never miss an episode of, reviews, Artists on Artists, Bozy Plays, any of the different things that we do here as part of the community. And tonight we are here on episode 22, everybody. Can you believe that we have 22 of these things down and in the books? And we are here for another Artist on Artist Spotlight featuring another one of our incredible admins and just the number 2 of the group, definitely a person who helps this whole system move and keeps the grease on the wheel. We are going to be interviewing Cestuiquvie tonight. Let's bring her up, everybody.
Hey. How's it going, RPG? Nice to see you.
Good to see you.
Good.
Well. How's the day been?
You know what? It has been sunny. It's been delicious and inspiring, to say the most.
Love
and
that.
Yourself?
I love that. It's been a great day. I actually was a little worried that I might be late because I had gotten caught up a little bit at the end of the day at work, but was able to get off and come home and traffic was good, so I'm like, okay, boom, right in. I was able to get all this set up. But so glad that you are here and that we are getting round 2 to be able to do another interview for you. And guys, if you didn't already go and check out the first interview that we did, which was on Instagram, then you can be able to go and check that out on my page or on Cesty's page. And she has that information there as well. But really excited to have you back again, Cesty, for round 2 for another episode of Artist on Artist Spotlight. But before we get into you are welcome. And before we get into some of the questions and some of the general information that we'll go over today, just wanted to get this episode started like I do every episode and be able to start by playing some music. Now this one's a little bit different, everybody, because we are, Ceci actually had sent me over all of the individual songs that she wanted to be able to have us review, as opposed to, oh, hey, go to my SoundCloud and listen to this song and, do that kind of thing. So she actually sent me the individual files for all 5 of the different songs that she wanted us to take a listen to today, but gave me control to let me know, okay, you can start playing with any song that you want. But we do have a special one that will be coming up a little bit later, but let's get into this first one. So again, she doesn't know which one I'm going to be picking, but I was listening to all of the different tracks that she had sent over, and this was one of my favorites. This song is called Golden Gates. And so I'm going to press play. I'm going to press play, and you guys let me know what you think.
Cascading colors, trading the flavor.
right. I had to check. I was like, oh, that is on a loop. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Just wanted to make sure. Yeah. So that was the first song that I wanted to be able to start with. And actually, one of the cool things that is that I really like about this song, outside of just the sound and just how cool it is in a general way, was that this one was actually featuring one of our previous admins, Trebloff. And I just had wanted to see, was this one that you two had worked together kind of like when we were doing the old EP, that it was like he was producing and you were, the actual like artist on the song, or is he the one saying those words in the background, like right kind of near the end of the little clip that you gave us?
So this was 2 years ago.
Okay.
I this is when I was running the bar and hotel and all the recording studios.
Yep.
I still run them, but I was more on hand running them. And I had met him online, producer to producer.
Yeah.
And so when we started hanging out, he had this really cool song. And he played it and he goes, I don't really know what I'm doing with this. And I was like, so I started singing to it. And then I was like, wait, I would love to just do something on it. Is it cool? So then I sang that song and it was actually freestyle. And then he just accentuated my voice with some reverb. And honestly, I got in the car after hanging out with him because he said he wanted to introduce me to all his musical friends, where I met Hannah J Music, where I met Louisville the rapper. And so I was really ecstatic because I love meeting new people, but the journey that I was starting to become on, was fresh. So when I was in the car and I kept listening to the song that it was created, I was actually tearing up and I was crying. Yeah. But it wasn't like I was sad. It was just that like I could see, me selling my house, me getting a vehicle, buying a whole bunch of camping equipment for all these festivals that I'm about to start going on to, that I kind of like, 2 or 3 years ago was like, wasn't in the spot where I'm at right now. So like I could just see the journey, and that's what had me cry, because I had met a gentleman who, has a way with music because he's been playing for 10 years, 11 years actually. And so he just can put things together like a puzzle. And so my voice being able to be very comprehensive of turns, it just fit really well. And I'm so glad that was the first one you played, because that's a good one.
Well, and I agree. I mean, I think of the ones that you sent, it's my overall like favorite one, just from the sound, from the feel of it. And, it's the one where I'm like, oh, okay, I'd want to listen to this song for the full thing, not just the, the clip part, and then, over and over again too. So, I mean, I definitely really like this one, but just to give you guys also some background as well, Cesti within the last, 6 months or less has moved, but before, Treblov and her were in Colorado, not like super close to each other, but at least comparatively to like myself being in, the Seattle area, comparatively to almost the majority of the rest of the team all being on East Coast, like it would be literally, I would have to take a, a flight to be able to come and see you guys. But with you and Treblov, you actually were close enough where it's like, all right, you weren't just next door, but if you wanted to be able to go and actually work with him in the studio and do that kind of thing, like, that was cool when that was going on. And obviously that's not the case now, but I always
fun fact, I actually, before I lived an hour away, because I was living in Golden, Colorado, which is close to Denver, Colorado. It's basically around the same areas, except Golden is a lot more mountainy and hikey, so not so much in the city. Gotcha. But I actually lived in the same area of the mountain with Trebloff. So I lived there a whole winter in my car, and I was like 2 minutes where he lived.
Wow. Okay, I actually did not know that. That's crazy. And I always remember that when I first had joined the team, that I was always super jealous. I'm like, man, I wish I could be like within an hour of any one of you guys, because I'd be like,
me too.
Find a reason to go hang out, because there was so much distance between all the rest of us. Even like, because you and Treblov were probably the closest to me at the time, and then me next after that. But now it's like only light, and then everybody else is like, like with you now being over in Florida, you know, it's like, oh, almost the exact tip of the other side of the country. That's how far Ceci and I are from each other. So I was jealous of that to an extent when you guys were, when I first had joined the team. But it just was kind of like a throwback where I was like, wow, okay, I haven't seen that name Trebloff now in a little while. Like, especially remembering now, like when we were working on the album, that it was like, oh yeah, you guys would, you know, put that, you know, those couple songs that we did together, but all of that was done at his place. So I'm like, oh, jealous of that. Jealous of that. Well, and so now you said that you made this song 2 years ago. And, you know, you loved how it had come out in a general way. Is this one that you would want to be able to, or any of the music in general, like, because I know Louis talks about it at times, that he'll hear songs from before and be like, okay, I like that, but man, I'd want to go back and, you know, maybe do a remix for it, or like, you know, re-release it again as like this bigger deal. Would you ever do that with any of your stuff? Or is it kind of like, hey, once I create it, that's the thing that's out, and everything is just new after that? Like, I wouldn't go back and retouch anything I'd already completed.
I think they're like stepping stones and a journey that has brought me to who I am right now. Yeah. And like, they're moments for me to go back towards and see where I used to be. Yeah. And that to me is cool, because like when you're in the present, you're not always quite aware of like your progress, because you're always here. Yeah. So it takes like moments of seeing your past to see how much you've evolved, to go, okay, I have actually worked a lot, and I've actually done different things than where I was. So I should be proud of that. Because like, the thing is like, to recreate certain songs for me, every song that I make, I put a lot of energy into them. So like, when I go back to that song, I feel that energy specifically. And if I were to go rechange that energy, the only thing about it is that I don't have the same idea of how I felt when I created it. So then I can never recreate it the same way. Yeah. And so then it takes the authenticity of that creation. So I always leave them to be.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, not that there's anything like wrong or you know, amazingly good or bad in regards to, you know, going back and looking at your old stuff, but yeah. I'm more the same as you on that side, where I'm like, you know what, I worked on that individual song at that time and went into the studio and got it done at that time, and then, you know, it's all like, for me, it's always like, oh, what am I getting inspired by now, or what's the thing that I want to be able to talk about. And most of the time now, and like, cause like with, you know, with Love Broken Part 2 that Louis and I are working on, that's the first time since 2017 that I've ever even done a part 2, where the idea of the song is the continuation of that idea of it, as opposed to, oh, you know, it's just the second in like your series of albums. So I'm definitely more like you on that side, that I'm less likely to go back and want to go and mess with stuff I've already done. So yeah. One of the things I wanted to talk with you about today, and kind of get a little bit more in depth on, because you play such an important, but such a different role on the admins for Bozy, because you work on a lot more of like the behind the scenes, all the stuff, like I said at the beginning, like kind of the grease that keeps the wheel and the machine moving in a way, where I have, you know, the, you know, 10th in music, artist on artist, and I'm on the different panels. But yours is a lot of like, okay, hey, making sure that we have all of the, you know, the minutes down, and all of like the, you know, HR type stuff, but also money type things, and, you know, looking for the next, you know, big opportunity that, you know, we might have as Bozy that we can take a look at as a whole. So for you, how do you balance that idea of like more of the, all right, this is more like, you know, just not unnecessary paperwork, but it's like, it's the uncreative stuff with the creative stuff, like the music with more of the numbers and like, oh, okay, yep,
Yeah.
you know, this person got paid, you did this. Like, how do you do that balance? Like, do you just say, I'm now in this lane and just get the backside work done and then get onto the music, or do you try to blend them at all?
I definitely have to do a little bit of both
Okay.
because a lot of my time, it's like when we first started doing all this, Bozy World, and started collaborating was over 2 years ago, and I had met Louisville. So around the same time, I met Trebloff and Hannah
Okay.
J Music,
Ah, okay.
and when me and Lou used to literally talk a lot to each other, okay, and we used to call each other up all day, all night long, and just talk about like how we wanted to see certain things in the world because like people and places and work and blah blah blah, and we wanted to show positivity and love and happiness and being creative and using what we have to help others to keep doing what they want to do. And we were like, okay, well, let's figure this out, you know, because I don't want to do this anymore. And the only way you can do something is you work hard for it. And then, you know, little by little, the more things that we started like getting into, I just noticed that I became a certain way with like certain habits of Bozy World, you know, because, you know, being the head of HR departments as well as doing the finances, and I do contract readings. I help people with that as well. Because like I've already done businesses. I have a hotel, private bar, 25 recording studios, you know, and lands like in Costa Rica, Colorado. I just like, and I'm not even boasting. It's just that like I have worked hard, blood and sweat and mental crying to get myself to the top because people kept saying, you can't make it, and then throw you down the cliff just to see if you would make it, but they're hoping that you don't make it.
Right.
And so I'm the kind of person that says, you're going to tell me one thing, but I'm going to show myself, not you. You're pathetic. I don't have time for that. But I have myself to prove to me that I can do it. I might be scraping along the way and losing my fingernails, getting up that cliff, but I'm going to do it. And I'm going to feel good doing it. And that's the thing with Bozy is that all of us have, including you, we've been scraping our way to where we want to see our universe and have people who we love in it. So when I take play and work, sometimes it's a mixture and sometimes it's separate. Sometimes I have to like stay not so much with hanging out with you guys on social media, so I can get like behind the scenes done of like, you know, doing all the graphic designs and videos and hitting up people, seeing how you doing and just random stuff. So, you know, I do get sad because I can't be on social media as much as I used to, but it's okay because when I do get time, I make sure to hang out with you guys and, you know, just to have fun, you know, so there's a balance, you know, there's definitely a different balance, but I love everything that I do.
No, for sure. Well, and I think that that's, you know, really important as well, because I think one of the things, especially when you're doing something like this, where, you know, if you're, you know, like with you, with your, you know, with your house businesses, with the other things that you've done, like if you get a business to a certain size, then it's just automatic. Like, okay, you'll start splitting off and like, okay, you will be the HR person, you'll do the finance. Like, you know, not everything is all under one, you know, person that it is, you know, that is Cestuiquvie. But I think that that's something that gets lost when you're doing something like this with Bozy, where the whole mindset around everything you do is, you know, about the community, about the creativity, about, you know, moving forward and finding new pathways, you know, to bring in new stuff that can, spread the name of Bozy to new places, that type of thing. But when you've got so much of that umbrella thought around you, it is difficult to kind of be like, oh no, but the backside work has to get done somehow, and somebody has to do it. And it is one of those things. Exactly. And it's you. And I mean, and I look at it in the same way where I'm like, you know what? I am in sales because I don't want to do numbers. Like I'm not the, oh, yep, let me make 14 spreadsheets for you because that I'd rather be dead. Like just that very finite, like, oh, and I don't do anything but just put this number here and subtract this and blah, blah, blah. So it's like, I think it's really cool from your standpoint that it's like, oh no, I'm taking on a very, very significant role, but also probably the least sexy role in the sense of like, oh no, I'm not getting my own show or a thing to do this with so that you can see what I'm doing. Like, so I give you a lot of props where I'm like, man, this is a thankless job that now, great, and maybe not, for you individually, but just in a general way, the backside stuff that you don't have to think about is very easy to out of sight, out of mind. Like, oh no, yeah, it just gets done. Like, I don't know how these things happen, but they just happen. So I give you a lot of props in the sense where there's a lot of things that you do that are silently completed that just keep the momentum moving forward, as opposed to like, oh, we're now stopping and like, focusing on that one aspect. So I've always thought like, just really highly of you for that reason, where I'm like, well, she does all the stuff on top of all the other things she does do for Bozy. She takes care of all the things I would never want to be able to touch. And like, oh yeah, well, what happened with the finances? Oh, I put the decimal place in wrong. Well, now Bozy's screwed. Like, I don't want that level of responsibility in the sense of like, I could affect more things than maybe just myself or just the one thing, that I do. So I give you massive props for that.
Thanks.
But one of the things that just had happened with you, and I know that you had wanted to touch on this a little bit, was that you just recently, within the last 3 to 6 months, made that move down to Florida. So explain that process a little bit, and just why initially you wanted to make the move away from Colorado and then go down to Florida.
All right. So when we had the first interview, I was in Golden, Colorado.
Yep.
And then, our head of visuals in Hellbound, really cool guy. I always had a rule, that you don't fraternize sexually with the people you work with, especially when we're all business partners, right? And I actually did a really good job for a good years. But Hellbound was a very cool individual who I wanted to get to know more, and vice versa. I also thought it was a good opportunity to be closer to Lou, because I like to travel and get around. There's a lot of Bozy people that are around the area. Stone Residence is near Atlanta. I think it's like 30 minutes away from Atlanta. You have Hunter J, and then like various other people that are all through this area. So I was like, you know what? It makes a lot of sense. Like, I think Hellbound's cool. I've talked to him enough that like I'm willing to go in to see him in person. But then I was like, this is also a good opportunity. Like, I think I got myself like in the creeks of Colorado with music. Like all over Colorado, I put my fingers all into it. Different styles and genres, everything. And so then it was like, there's no reason for to stay here right now, because I've gotten everything that I'm looking for here. It's time to go somewhere else so I can experience something new with music. The way they, put up festivals or gatherings and how they function with, because see, when I go to festivals and I go to raves and stuff, I'm having fun, but I don't have fun until after I analyze everything. Like I analyze how the tickets, how many people are there, the lightings, how many people are they hired for the lightings? Do they hire them or do they donate plus they get to drink whatever they want, whatever. So there's a level of different things I look at every time I go to different places. So then when I get the whole analyzation, everything, I usually call you guys too. I'm pretty sure I call you guys. I call you. I definitely call Lou. I call Harzan, and I'm like, you guys, I gotta show you where I'm at right now. And so when I get my surroundings where I'm like, I can feel it, then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go have fun. See y'all later. And then since I wrote everything down and I let you guys know like what I'm doing, I go enjoy myself. You know, that's when I start to like, you know, collab with different people, different DJs. It's fun.
So then let me ask you this, because and I was not, you know, directly asking that specific question because I didn't know if you would talk about the Hellbound thing, but it was actually something I had wanted to ask him too on his interview, not in the sense of anything about YouTube, but just more so in the sense of, you know, that idea of like, okay, you had, you know, Treblov within about an hour or so of where you were in Colorado. So you got more of that opportunity to actually like work with him face to face and in person. And I think that, you know, there's always something that's lost a little bit in the sense of like, you know, because like with the Lost on the Nightmare song that Hellbound and Malachi and I just did, like, obviously you don't always have the opportunity to have everybody in the same place together, but I think it's so much better if you can, that you're getting to mold those ideas together all at the same time. And people are just throwing out, you know, comments and blah, 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 blah. And so I think that there's that idea of like the actual creativity together usually can spark even more. So for you moving down to Florida, you know, and being there closer to Hellbound, but then also, you know, closer to a lot of the other admins that are on the team in a general way, what have you noticed inspiration wise or just music wise? Like, are you getting more inspired by being there, or is it less because you're just still experiencing so much new stuff? Like, how has music been affected with this move and the change?
I'm so glad you asked that because I've seen a lot of reggae out here. There's a lot of Jamaican people that are out here, so there's a lot of reggae. And in fact, I got a contact to join. We have a reggae stage now because we have 10 stages at our Bozy World concert or festival. That's in a few years, right? And one of the stages is booked up just for reggae people because they know all the people I know in reggae. So I was like, what? So they're actually going to take care of it and then come up. So so reggae. The other one was like Latina music. So like salsa, merengue, all the little mixtures in like that. There's a lot of open mics here, and there's people who travel. This city is known for being like all of the celebrities live here. And there's people that I've met that literally come here just to do the open mics. And then they travel back to LA because their real job is like acting and modeling or whatever. So these are the people that I've been rubbing shoulders up with just a little bit.
Cool.
So that's been cool. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. And
nice.
It's giving me good ideas.
Nice. Okay. I like that. Well, and I think that also kind of lends itself to also, so let's move on to the next song that I wanted to be able to highlight for everybody here. And again, everybody, thank you so much for everybody that is live listening right now. Once we get done with this question, or actually, you know what? We did have a question come in from Light. Let's actually get to that before we get to the song, because he did have a specific question right after he had asked, or right after I'd let him know, hey, just put it in the chat. So he said, what is the weirdest music related thing that you have done?
I don't know how to answer that question.
Okay, what about that story you were telling me the other week when we were talking, when we were getting ready for this? And
yes. Okay.
Like that one.
Okay, so I was in St. Pete. Okay, it's a really like touristy and super beachy, fun vibe to be.
Cool.
So my best friend, who I haven't seen in like 8 years. She was going to this reggae festival, but she was chilling, right? I told her I didn't have any money, but I was like, I have to go to this event for the salsa thing to like do some business. But like in between, I can hang out with you and stuff and kind of catch up for a minute. Yeah. So I show up and she's sitting in a hammock, we're vibing, whatever. And she's like, you want to walk around? So I'm like, yeah, let's go walk around. So she's like, man, it'd be really cool if we can go into the reggae. She's like, but I don't really want to pay to get in. And I was like, yeah, and I don't want to pay to get in either. I was like, but I'm going to get in. And she goes, what? And I was like, I do what I want. And if I want to go into that festival, I'm not paying a dime. And she goes, how are you going to do that? I'm like, because I do what I want. So I grabbed her. I'm like, come on. So there was a crowd that was coming out. And I was like, I'm going straight through. So I say, hey, the guy works there. And I'm like, so me and her, we're going to go in there. And I'm not paying you a dime. He looks at me. He goes, yeah, you're not wrong. Just go that way and then you'll be good. So like, me and her went straight in. We got inside and she looks at me and she's like, and then people were like, yeah, good job. So we get up to the other side and she goes, whoa. And I'm like, we do what we want. So we're walking around, we're having a good time, right? The reggae music, like there's all kinds of artwork everywhere. We had a fun time, right? And it was blessed. So then we're like, okay, so let's get out of here, you know? So the festival was ending and we were getting out. And I said, okay, well, I got to go to this thing real quick to check out the salsa thing so I can work some business angles with these events. But like, go find us, you know, an ocean to go camp at, and then we'll go camp there, and then I'll meet you there. So I go to get to my car, or we go to my car, and the gate to the parking lot is locked. I didn't know that. I literally talked to a cop and was like, "Could you park here?" And he didn't tell me that I had to leave in like 30 minutes to an hour or whatever. He's just like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." He must have thought I knew, I guess. Even though I had Colorado plates, but you know, hey, whatever, who's checking? So
Good point.
I said, okay, well, I guess I'm kind of stuck here. So then like her car was also blocked in on the other parking lot. So we were like, this is a sign. We're supposed to hang out all night. Like, I haven't seen you in a long time. This is good to catch up. So then way in the ocean, there's a pier. And the music was bumping, like this loud music, right? And I was like, ooh, yes, I need to go over there. Right. So we walked like 30 minutes to get there. The guard, before we even get to the pier part where there's like a bridge, he was like, hey, this is closed. And I was like, yeah, whatever. And I kept walking straight. And he didn't stop me. So then me and Tracy just kept going. And then she's like looking at me, and I'm like, I told you, I do what I want. Like, people just don't tell me, like, I can't do something when this world is free and I could do what I want, right? Good, positive stuff only.
Right.
So we get to the pier and we get upstairs, and the guy goes, it's $40 to get in. See, this place was like, it's invite only. They only had influencers, they had models, they had directors and filmers, like professional dancers that were there. So they were filming the whole event. And so that's why it was $40 to get in. Because like if someone were to randomly squaggle there, you either pay the $40 since you're not really invited, or get the fuck out. Right. And so me and Tracy looked at him. And I was like, yeah, okay. Like that, right? I just kind of gave him that smile. And then Tracy's like, do you see me? I walked all the way from over there. We're going inside. You have a good night. So she dropped him a $20 bill in cash, and he didn't say shit. Fabulous. So we're chilling inside, you know, we have a few drinks, and we're like looking out at the pier and the ocean. I think I called Lou up too, because I was like, look at this girl, look at this. Like, it was gorgeous. Like, it was the coolest tiki place in the world. Okay. Yeah. And I started looking for the event coordinator, because you can just tell them. You just know, because they're always scanning the room. I do it, right? This is what my job is. So right. I found her, and I said, yo, come over here. And she looks at me and she goes, okay. So she walks up to our table, And I said, you're the event coordinator, right? And she goes, yeah, how'd you know that? I'm like, dude, don't mess around right now. I don't have time for this. I just know you, okay? I was like, look, get me on that stage. I want to play right now or the next time. She goes, well, we just have different DJs. I'm like, stop being cute and do what I want. You can get me what I want. And she looks at me and she goes, look, you talk to the DJs to let them let you in. And I don't give a fuck. So I waited for the DJ set to end. At the end of the night, it was like 3 in the morning. I slipped into VIP, and this girl sitting next to me, she kind of looks at me, she goes, oh, hey, and I'm like kind of talking to her, like starting conversation with her. And she's like talking to me, but you could tell she was like, who the fuck are you? But she's too nice to say anything because she thinks that maybe she knows me, right? Because I'm just instantly like, hey, how you doing? Yeah, I haven't seen you. That's a great day, huh? Her friend comes up and goes, who's this? I'm like, oh, I'm Avalonius, and who are you? So they were like, I don't know. So they like walked away. See the DJ, and I said, hey, come here. I don't know why I do that, but I was like, come here. I got him to give me 2 slots for my first time to put my music out there, which is happening soon.
Nice.
So like, what's beautiful about this is that as soon as I get the 2 slots, what I'm doing is every time I DJ at different places, whether it's going to be at a festival, whether it's going to be at, one of these events that I go to out here, I'm going to play some of Bosie's music, as well as myself. So
Totally.
I'm really excited because this is a good way to get us a good marketing for Bosie World and all the amazing artists that are out here who work so hard to show us their amazing music on music reviews and even outside of music reviews, just the promoting chat that we have,
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and when you had that set up in the sense of like, okay, it hasn't happened at this point yet, but I know that you had talked to me and, people on the team about, oh, hey, get some, songs put together. Was that the type of place that you could play anything, or was it more of like the reggae scene like the other place was where they only wanted one type of, or maybe like a general genre of music to be played at that location? Or is it kind of like, anything is good?
So this place that I went to was more like party music.
Okay, gotcha. Cool.
So more like, you know what party music is. So like whatever party music is, that's what I would prefer to play there. Cause like melodic music or like rock and metal may not necessarily, or even indie music may not necessarily get the crowd that we're looking for. But there's a lot of more events that I've been checking out. So there's always an opportunity to a lot of these places that I go check out to play other people's music that may not just be party music, but could be anything.
Yeah, for sure. Nice. Okay, I like that. And then now in a general way, like, and, more or less just for, our own, edification, is there an idea of the time frame of when you think that like, is it 2 sessions all in one night, or is it like, 2 times a week you'll go in for this certain amount of time?
So it just depends right now.
Okay.
I think that once I'm able to get in with this one, it'll bring me a lot more opportunities. And I'm trying to find opportunities that are going to get me with wild places to go play at that I'm like, my mouth is dropping. So I'm trying to find places like that. So that way we can get that kind of clientele to be in the same realm with us. You know what I mean? That, they hear us and stuff and they ask more questions. So like, let's say we get someone in the future that they want to sponsor us. These are some prospects to do.
Nice.
So in the next, like, probably in the middle of April to the end of April, I really should have a better footing on all that.
Nice. Nice, very cool. All right, and so now, right before we had that question come in, I said I was going to play another song for us, and it was kind of based off the conversation we were just having about the move down to Florida. So I wanted to play another song for you guys, and this song is called "Castle Walls Around My Heart," featuring Hellbound. So let me mute us up, and we'll get to that playing.
Crumbling down my heart. I built them back away to tear them apart. Built them back away to tear them apart. Darling, tear me apart.
A spiritual bond.
Talking about those walls around those walls.
All right, and so again, you guys, these are just little snippets that Cesti had sent over to me, as opposed to like, all right, I'm like, okay, now we're gonna pause solely just because we only want to be able to do a little tease. She just clipped them for me, so that it's only the tease. So it was perfect from that stand. So thank you so much for that. So I love this song, and it's I love it for the fact that it's like it's so you and Hellbound together, like just that perfect, like, yep, the Cesti thing, the Hellbound thing, put them together and you get that song. I love that about it. So now with the beat itself, was that one that you guys found, or did you make that beat?
Squid God did.
Squid God. Ah, okay, nice.
My homie. Yeah.
Let's go. I mean, I love that how, you know, and I'll admit I'm not doing it as much as I probably should, you know, just because of all the different things that I have coming out right now. So it's more maybe a timing thing as opposed to anything else. But I love how all of you guys are like, everything is all within the community. Like, oh, Squid God is the producer, part of the community. Boom. You two, the admins. Boom, boom, boom. Like, you know, putting it all together. So is that a song, and only from the sense that, like, you know, you sent all of these over to me, so some of the ones I recognize and some of the ones I don't. This was definitely a new one. Was this something that was created since you went down there, and is this also released as well, or are you still working on it?
This was actually created back in January, the beginning of January.
Okay,
and
cool.
It took about a month to make.
Nice.
And a month and a half, I think, because he just finished some of his like vocals that he already had, but he like tuned them up, whatever.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna be honest, I do not remember what date he said he's dropping all that.
Okay, but it's not out yet, though. Okay, so then it will be coming out in the future. That's what I wanted to make sure. In the other interviews that I've done, because this is the first time where, again, like I said, we're not just pulling up SoundCloud or you know, wherever and then, you know, listening to it. So I just wanted to be able to make sure and let people know, hey, okay, yep, this song is out already. You can go find this one. This one is coming soon. So I just wanted to be able to let them know this one is coming soon, guys. So definitely get ready for that. I'm excited to hear this full one as well, because all I've heard is just a little snippet.
Just so you know, so my songs, I have some songs on YouTube that are not on my SoundCloud. I do that on purpose. So you will never see them like the same thing on each one. So if you want to check out different songs I have, you have to either go on YouTube or you have to go on SoundCloud, because there's different ones on eeach one. And the Trouble Off song is only on YouTube.
Okay, that's what I was going to say. Wow, why do I not remember seeing that on SoundCloud? Okay, so that's good to know. And that's really good to know. So guys, everybody listening, yes, you are going to get some music over there on SoundCloud, but you'll get new and different music as well, which is actually kind of cool in a sense, because like if it's like me where it's like, oh, I'm out on all platforms. Well, then every single platform will have every single song all the same. So I actually do kind of like that where it's like, oh, okay. Oh, but you won't find that one here.
I'm kind of a puzzle. So like, and then Hellbound just said too, is that like on the release date, we got a second part. We got to finish that related to it. Yeah. So there's an intro version of the song, which we just heard, and then there's an outro version of the same song.
Oh, cool. Okay, I like that. I like that. Ooh, I really like that. That's actually a really good idea. Okay, so then yeah, nice. Yes, thank you, Hellbound. Shout out Squid on that beat. Absolutely. Shout out Squid. I think he was actually in here with us in the chat. I don't know if he's here right now in this moment, but I know he was.
I love that guy.
Well, thank you, Squid so much for tapping in. So now with that type of a song and just the music that you make, because I remember when we did the first interview, you know, there was kind of this back and forth of you're the producer, but an artist as well. You know, which one do you like to do more? Or in the sense of like, which one would you put in that extra amount of time for? So from the artist side and or producing side with the move now, have you been splitting them up, you know, kind of a 50-50 thing? Or are you still kind of focusing more on the, you know, making music more like this? Or have you been finding yourself doing any production stuff as well?
I've been making some beats recently.
Nice.
But I have a song that Light wants me to work on. So I'm probably going to do some harmonies on that here shortly.
Nice.
Plus, there's some old songs that I'm trying to catch up on because I had a lot of collabs, so I can start singing on them. But I'm starting to feel a lot more steady out here with work and everything else I'm doing. So I feel more comfortable in my zone to start singing again, which I'm excited for.
Nice. And so now, have you done any performances since you got to Florida?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. Okay. That is cool. Cause yes, I know that was definitely something that you enjoyed doing, you know, in Colorado. So I can't wait till we get to see the video of your first live performance there in Florida. That will definitely be really cool. So then, if we're kind of looking at, you know, some of the different songs that we'll be listening, you know, through tonight, but in general, for you, because one of the things that I will say, like, even from the admin side, and, you know, this just shows, guys, that it's like, oh, everybody has their own lives and different things that they're doing. And one of the things that I had sort of, in a sense with you, you know, lost a little bit of track of is some of the things that you have maybe coming, you know, over this next year, or things that you might be actively working on. So for you right now, are there any active projects that you have in the works, or any things that you're like, okay, this is about to be able to drop? Like anything you can kind of let us know, you know, future plans, you know, what 2025 is kind of looking like for you, anything you can, you know, give us a little bit of the, you know, through the corner, or, you know, peeking through the, you know, through the veil at all, you can let us know.
You know, when it comes to music, it's really like sporadic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there'll be a lot of songs that I'll do, but what I'm focusing on, to be honest, is there's a festival that we are having together in the next like year and a half.
Yeah.
Something like that. And so I'm, you know, getting the land ready. I'm getting all the vendors ready, the different music artists. I've just been coordinating a lot of different things to get this festival, when it starts, we can actually get it running, that it'll run a lot more smoother than anything else.
Yeah.
And like Lou and Light are going to be moving out here too. And so we're like, okay, well, what kind of work should we do? So we can kind of like, you know, keep ourselves sustainable, save up money so we can get like an RV, you know, and like be able to build up for Bozeman so we can travel around the world and see everyone. So right now I'm trying to get like house cleaning on my own, so that way when they come out here, we can do like a service where it's going to get this whole vibe, where we're going to like, you know, have like, they're going to do lawn care and I'm going to be house cleaning inside, and we'll be doing pool care too, but it'll be in the same service. So the same time that I house clean, they're going to be outside doing the yard work and doing the pool work. And so then that way we're making enough money where we can split it between each other and keep helping each other that way. Because you can make good money doing that.
Gotcha.
And I'm trying to get things comfy so that way when Lou and Light come out, they feel a little bit more at ease, because I've kind of got my roots around to see where everything's at and, where, what we're doing. So,
Yeah. Nice.
I'm really honestly excited for that. So when it comes to that stuff, that's kind of where my nerdy mind goes to.
Nice. So then if you're, focus a little bit more on that, give me a little bit of that rundown or just that breakdown in terms of like, what would you say from your side, in your opinion, is the most difficult thing or the most like arduous, just, all like, is it the vendor? Is it the vendors? Is it getting the artist there? Is it actually like, getting the location? Like what's the most difficult part been up to this point?
Nothing.
Really? Okay.
Everything has been playing out the way it's supposed to. In the time appointed, because we can't always like determine these things. It's been fun along the way. I think that when I was living in my car in the winter for like a good minute, that really sucked. But I just kept telling myself about like where I'm going. So now it's 2 years, and I can be happy to things I told myself in the car that time when I wanted to give up. Like, I didn't, because here I am. Actually, the song. Oh, you haven't played that yet. Never mind.
There's another tease, you guys. Don't worry, it's coming. It's coming. Okay, no, that's cool. I mean, and that's really good to know, because I'm glad that at least there hasn't been something that's been like so either time or mind consuming that it's like, I don't even want to do this anymore in the sense, because trying to make that thing a reality is too much outside of some of the other things that maybe, we could be able to do that's a level 2 easy as opposed to this, which feels like level 12, like, very difficult probably to be able to get a festival put together as opposed to, oh, well, let's just, have me and Louie put a song together. Like probably a lot more difficult, to get that level of an event put together. So with the idea of the festival, and this is more, again, just for my own knowledge, is there like do you decide as the person that's kind of putting it on and that you're planning it? Is there a number of artists that you'd want to have performing, or is it as many as we could possibly get?
There are 10 stages.
10 stages.
So
okay, gotcha.
Within these 10 stages, there's different genres for each stage, because this music festival is going to be different things. So we have, for instance, a reggae stage, an EDM stage, a rap stage, an experimental stage, jazz, classical, kind of a mixture.
Yeah.
And so within those stages for the weekend, we'll have as many artists for the weekend during that time.
Gotcha. Okay, nice. And then now, because I know initially when I first had joined the team overall, that the initial plan was that we were going to be trying to do it, in the Colorado area, or I mean, in the Colorado state somewhere. Is that still the case, or is it now moved to Florida?
No, it's still out there.
It's still out there. Okay.
I like being in the warmth, and I know Lou really likes being in the warm because he's a jungle guy. What do you call that? The jungle guy? Tarzan. He's original Tarzan. And he likes the heat. Light, fun fact, is born in Florida. So, I mean, everyone seems to like the heat. And so we figured that, we can spend some time in Colorado in some land that we happen to be bestowed upon. So then we can use that land for our festival. And then we can come and go as we please. And when it gets cold, we can say, deuces, we're going to Florida or somewhere else around the world, you know?
Yeah. F this snow. We are going to that.
Yeah.
Sun. I totally feel you there. Trust me. I hate seasons. Give me the heat and the sun all the time. Now I will say though, like I feel like I would have a tough time with that maybe May to August timeframe in Florida with just that insane amount of humidity and just not even that it's hot, because it was hotter in Vegas when I lived there in the sense of like pure degrees wise, but just that humidity, it just sucks your whole life out of you every single second. Like, it is.
Feels like
it
you're
is
swimming.
Exactly, at all times. Like, oh man, but to get that sun all the time, it's like it's worth it.
I feel like I'm in paradise, even though I'm working every day. So.
Oh, absolutely. No, I agree. Okay, so now, like I said, before we had gotten on to that question, and thank you so much for sending that in. I had wanted to play another song, and this, and I love the fact that every one of the ones that you sent, except for the sneak peek, or except for the brand new sneak peek song, is all featuring an admin that is on the team. Now we're up for the Louis song. So this song is called Shapes, featuring Louisville. And while we are getting ready, before I pull this one up, I just wanted to be able to run a little bit of an experiment. So just close your eyes for me really quick before I play this. And
What?
I know exactly. Like, we're just gonna be playing something here. It's gonna be fun. So I wanted
He's gonna
to
zap me.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's not what this is about. I'm not really in the room and gonna, jump out and scare her. That's not what this is about. So I wanted to be able to play the song, but just have you be thinking about the different like shapes or the song in general when we play it, and then we'll have another surprise after that. So let me press play.
I just want to say I'm grateful. Thank you. Everything. I just want to show love and peace. I just want to show love and peace. I just want to show love.
The decisions I will make were not moments to be drawn inside my eyes.
Your eyes.
Life was getting me
Get me down, so down.
No more guessing games.
No games, baby.
It's just a failure that the world made me
Why
to
you
be.
like the world against you? Why you feel down when I'm against you? I'm a place with my
Gazing
body.
past my ever-living soul.
My soul.
God, you know,
You know.
you're the only one to trust.
Trust me, baby, yeah. I just want to say I'm grateful. Thank you.
All right, yes. So I wanted to be able to surprise you. We got Louisville in the house with us. Sir, how are you doing right now?
Yes, sir! Y'all know what's going on.
You know who it is. I had to make sure and get Louis up here with us. Not just because we were playing that song, but definitely because we were playing that song.
Such a good surprise.
Exactly. It's definitely a very good surprise. So Louis, thank you so much for being here. And I remember when Cesti was sending me over the cover arts for some of these different songs. This was one of my favorite ones, the one with the bee and like sitting on the water. I just thought that was really, really cool. So give us a little bit more of the background of this song, how it came together, because this is one I actually don't remember hearing when I was, doing the first interview. So, and again, it couldn't be one where, this was, over on YouTube and I was looking on SoundCloud, but in a general way, just give us a little bit of the background of Shapes and how it came to be. And we'll start with you, Cesti, for that one.
I met this beautiful creature, an alien friend I have here. I had a lot of amazing ideas, like I was telling you before, and we're very positive people, him and I. And when I put this beat together, because I had a lot of people telling me I was living in my car, oh, you need a recording studio, man. Oh, man, you gotta do this, man. I'm like, I don't have this. I don't have this. I don't have this. And I don't have this. I have what I have, and I'm going to figure out how to use it. And a lot of people were like, yeah, okay, whatever. Da, da, da. And so then I made the beat, and then I was making. I think I had him listen to it, and then I was like, "Do you want to start? Or should I start?" And he goes, "Go ahead and start, and then I'll figure out where to jump in and stuff." So then I started singing it, and I was like, "I don't really know what I'm doing, but okay." So then I sent him my thing, and so then he did his bit, and I was like so in love with it. And I asked him what he thought about when he was like singing the song, because we didn't tell each other what our theme was. We just did it and then figured out along the way what we were doing.
Cool.
So to me that was really cool, because what I was singing about, what he was singing about, like the way it like melded and it all made sense. Even though it makes sense, but it makes sense what we were talking about. So it was like, that's crazy cool. And then like I chose like doing like a bee, and I took a picture of it like that, because I like geometrical stuff, but it was cool how I took that picture. Actually, I have a lot of cool pictures on my phone, but that I take, but the way like Lou is to me and how I perceive him, that picture said a million words.
Okay. Nice. And Louis, what about you? When was it that she came and wanted you to work on this song with her? Was this year, or was this in the last couple of years, like some of the other songs that we were talking about?
This was like what, 2022?
Oh, so it was a long time ago.
Yeah. Like we only known each other for like months at this point. Like we were just getting to know each other, because again, we met through Hannah when he first started doing his reaction streams. And she happened to be in the stream, and you know, Hannah's like, "Hey, follow everybody." And you know me, I'm a guy. I'm actually gonna go and follow everybody. So, Liz is somebody that I followed. I looked at her page a little bit, and like the first thing that popped up, like not popped up in my head, but the first thing that I saw was that she was playing the piano, and I was like, "Oh shit!" Like, and I love piano, so like anybody who can play the piano, I'm already like, "Whoa." Right, so I hit her up, and I'm like, you know, slid in the DMs, you know what I'm saying? But it was more like, oh, what's up? How you doing? Whatever. And like, you know, we just talked, and then we talked a little bit about music, and then, you know, long story short, we started hanging out in Discord all the time with me, Liz, Hannah, and a bunch of his friends always in there. So, you know, around that time, like my sound was very different. I wasn't at the level that I am at now. Right. You know, I was definitely open to like doing different things. And I had just done a song called Peace of Mind around the same time. Okay. It's kind of like this style. So like Liz said, you know, she just sent me the song, and I listened to it, and I was like, I love it. I love the beat. It was just something different. I love her vocals on it. At first, I couldn't really like understand what she was saying, because like the mix was kind of like not as good as it sounds this time. Like when you heard it. So I'm like, okay, I'm trying to like listen to what she's saying, but since again I couldn't really understand everything, I kind of try to go with every last like couple lines that she said, and I was like, okay, this is not going to be like a hook or structured in that way. It's more like she's going through the song, and she left empty spaces. So I was like, okay, let me just fill in the gaps and kind of do her ad libs. You know what I mean? So again, like there was something that she said about trust. So like that's why I said, "Trust me, baby, trust me." And it's funny because the song sounds like it's a love song, but it's really not. It's more like it's kind of subjective. Like if you think it's about love, then it's about love. But in my perspective, it's about loving nature, loving earth, loving other things, not just love. Like when I say baby, I could be talking about the universe. I could be talking about Earth, Gaia. You know what I mean? So,
Gotcha.
It kind of came together, man. Like, you know, she gave me her vocals. I mixed her vocals a little bit as best as I could with the skill I had back then. What I did was I put her vocals on the left, and I put my vocals on the right. So if you hear it with the headphones, neither of us are in the middle. Like the beat is here, she's here, I'm here. So it's kind of like a back and forth. It's like almost like a wave. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
The cover art was all her. Like I trusted her with that. I wasn't really that great at cover arts back then.
Gotcha.
And then she told me like, "Hey, I want to do this visual for it." So I'm like, "Hey, go ahead." love the visual. Like the visual made the song what it is. Like before the visual, it was good. It was a good song.
It was good, but the visual really hits it.
The visual hit it like, and like my favorite part about the song is actually how it starts, because that was actually freestyle. Like the
really,
say I'm grateful, thank you, everything. I just want to love, show love and peace. I just want to love, show love and peace. That part was all freestyle, and then the rest of the song was also a freestyle because I was going off a feeling. I was like, okay, I'm gonna play the song on my headphones, record, and whatever comes out comes out. And then after the fact, I wrote it down on my phone to kind of structure it better, so like I could like remember it. But that's how I kind of went about it. I freestyled it, just kind of listening to what she was saying, and I was kind of like her hype man, but like a super chill hype man in the back, just kind of adding to what she was saying. And then yeah, I sent her back the song, and like the rest is pretty much history.
Gotcha.
And I literally, when I was singing it for a spiritual reason too. So it was cool, like I said, how our minds were linking in that manner, you know? Because then later on I told him, I was like, you know, it wasn't like romantic, right? I just, you know, this is where I was at when I was singing it. But like we're like twins in a way, you know?
Yeah, that's crazy. And so now, and so just to make sure that I'm hearing it right, because it was you had sent him the beat with some lyrics. Did you guys have the name of the song? Did you know it was going to be called Shapes at that time, or really? And so you just
I think we named it afterwards.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
that is
Like
hardcore. I thought at least you had like the name. So you just randomly caught the same wave thousands of miles away from each other, and it just came together like that. That is impressive.
Like literally, bro. Like it was like she put her vocals on it, sent it to me. And I was like, okay, I'm not even gonna write. I'm just gonna freestyle whatever comes out. Just flowed with it, finished it. Wow. And mind you, those are raw vocals, bro. Those are not mixed. That's my voice.
Oh wow.
That's my voice, bro.
That is crazy. Oh, I love that. All right. And so now you also had said that it had a visual to it. Let's pop that up really quick. That's what we're doing. Let's pop this bitch up. Let's go.
That was funny. Right, that picture reminds me of SpongeBob.
I'm so grateful. Thank you. Everything. I just want to love, show love and peace. I just want to love, show love and peace. I just want to love, show love.
The decisions I will make were not moments to be drawn inside my eyes. Your eyes. Life was getting me down.
Get me down, so down.
No more guessing games.
No games, baby.
It's just the failure that the world made me to
Why
be.
you like the world against you? Why you feel down when I'm against you?
Gazing past my ever-living soul.
My soul.
God, you know, the only one to trust.
Trust me, baby. Trust
Free
me
from my doubting.
Just show me love. Just show me love, baby.
Keep me from the ground up here. This is not a highway. There's no stopping me. No fighting blind.
I won't stop, never stop. Are you stop? Are you down? Why you wait? Why you
Face my only fear, which is.
All right, so I just wanted to be able to play a little bit of that visual because you had mentioned it, and when you said it, I'm like, oh, let me go check and see if I can find this, and I was able to get it. So that is really, really cool. I like that visual a lot, and I think it also does kind of really solidify that idea that like it definitely like you guys were talking about, like, oh, you know, we kind of had this same wavelength of like the message that we were talking about, but it wasn't like a romantic thing. It was more just like a mind meld thing. And I love that visual because you can definitely tell, like, you know, nothing about that. Like it so kind of goes along with what you guys were just talking about, that it makes sense when you watch that video and then you hear your guys' explanation. You're like, okay, yeah. When you watch that visualizer, it makes perfect sense. It kind of does bring it all together. And you know, I really like that. I like that song a lot, and I definitely like that visualizer a lot as well. Now, for the two of you, since this point for Shapes, have you come out with a lot of other tracks together, or was this like the first one that you had started back then?
Well, we actually had an EP for Bozy, our first one that was supposed to be coming out the beginning of January, that Trebloff Beats was creating for us, and decided that after the whole drama with Slay happened, that he chose his side. And then he basically stole money from me. He stole money from other people that gave him money or did, you know, pay for recording studios to make their music, and time and effort. And we had a really cool song, Me, Him, and Light. That was our introduction video, our introduction song for Bozy. And it was really cool, actually. It was like really trippy and whispery and just like all over the place. It was really fun. But we still have some stuff. We still have some stuff that we're trying to do together. It's my end, you see, because he finished his songs faster than me. So I have a few songs that I need to finish.
Nice. Okay, cool. Because when you talked about the EP, I'm like, wow, you did this and then nothing else until the EP. Damn, that's crazy. Because I mean, you guys definitely have a really good flow and a vibe together.
Thanks. I think so too.
Know, right. I mean, exactly. And that's why I was kind of like, I know I haven't just heard like, oh, and then let's check out the Louis song that now Cesty's on, and or vice versa. Because I'm like, I can't really like unless they just don't talk about him that much. But I'm like, why would you not talk about it if it's that good? So
this too, bro. It's like me and Liz, like we don't really talk about music a lot. Like we talk about like when we first started talking, we were really just talking about, I guess you would call it business, but it's more like we were talking about, okay, like she was saying earlier, like what are we gonna be doing in the future? Like what do you want to do? What I want to do? Like kind of learning about each other, getting to know each other. And we were having a lot of fun just joking around in Discord, playing games and stuff like that. So like we never really had time to like make music, and I wasn't really collaborating with a lot of people back then. Like I honestly just started collaborating with more people, like I would say 2024, and then now in 2025 is where I'm like actually like more open to doing collabs. But before it was just kind of random. If it happened, it was just I was still in the beginning stages of it. So and also like I feel like with me and Liz, it's gonna be easier when we're in person, actually working on a song, because I can coach her, and she can coach me, and we can kind of do it there on the spot. Because like, not saying that it's too difficult to do it over the phone, but like for the types of songs that we're making, you kind of need to be in person. You know what I mean?
For sure.
And especially the way we work, we're just very different when it comes to working on music. So it's kind of hard to work on it, like virtually.
Actually, to add on to what he just said, we have a podcast coming out that's a cartoon and a comic book called Little Red Sassy and the Big Sexy Wolf.
Hold on, you didn't say it right. And the Big Sexy.
Love that. I love that. Well, and having been on one of those little mini episodes or whatever that we did for that one time that I was involved, it is actually a lot of fun. And trying to be able to come up with like the voice you want to do and your character, it is way harder than you'd think it is. Be like, oh no, you're like a stupid thing.
What was your character again, RPG?
It was I was the mouse, and it was the
was it Reginald?
What was Reginald? Yes, it was Reginald. And it was off of a little nickname that people had for me. They call me this. Or no, it's not a mouse. It's a squirrel.
Yeah,
I was Reginald the squirrel. I was the squirrel.
You have chains.
Exactly. Yes, with my chains. Exactly, because that was my nickname in college, was Squirrel Master. Because it's actually weirdly enough not that like funny of a thing, but it was just like this like every time like I'd be playing sports, like I'd just be zipping around all over the place, and they were like, can somebody capture the Squirrel Master? What is going on? Why can nobody guard him? Like, so it just was kind of funny where I was like, okay, well, that's the only thing I can think of animal wise. We'll go Reginald the Squirrel Master. So I actually have a little bit of background with you guys with doing that. So once that is out and you guys can experience it, it is a lot of fun. I will have to admit, we definitely had a good time with our little session that day. So you guys are wanting to be able to take this into a lot of other spaces that don't just solely, kind of go around music. So for the idea of Bozy World, let's think a little bit bigger picture right now. What are some aspects that you either like, oh, I want to try this in the future, or we're working on this and we don't have it fully ready where we can release it or show something, but that we're really excited about this X thing coming out? Like, what are some of those ideas that you guys either have that we're working on, or that are like, ooh, okay, you know what, 2-3 years down the road, I want to try this? What would that be for you guys?
I mean,
construction.
Okay.
It's so much. It's so much.
There's a lot is the thing, but everything's under construction.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, there'll be a lot more things that we can share with a lot of people.
Right.
But some things are left for later.
Okay.
I'll say this though: the thing that I'm
Like
excited
Christmas
for
present.
the most is being able to be on stage with all of you guys. Like that's what.
Yeah.
That's what's in my head. Like I'm not really thinking about
Mm-hmm.
everything else. I'm kind of just letting it align. And
Yeah.
we already have a game plan, which is like something that I've been constructing for the past 4 years, like my own game plan now, kind of like transferring it to, okay, now it's Bozy World, now it's all of us. But again,
Right.
the thing that I it's on my mind the most is meeting up with you guys, going on stages together, traveling together, doing videos, doing movies, doing, just a bunch of stuff together as a team. And like, we're all in person doing it. We're not virtual. And like, we can show people like, hey, what's up? Like, we're like, I got the phone, we're live. And I'm like, look at the team. Yo, what's up? You know what I'm saying? And it's all of us. Like, that's really the thing that I want everybody to know about, that I want them to be excited for, because it's going to happen. And it's going to happen sooner than you guys think. And at that point, everything is just going to change.
Nice. All right. Well, and I mean, and just like Light had mentioned when he first had popped on to the comments, he was saying, oh, the artist on artist layout and everything looks really, really good. And I mean, it is just so cool for both of us, since for all three of us, but you two specifically, since you guys have both had now, we're on Cestuiquvie's second interview. Louis, we just did yours a couple of weeks ago. To think that we started this on Instagram, having to like, oh, well, it's an hour, so we have to figure out like all these, like I have to make sure we're ready to go, to be specifically starting and ending at this time, or oh, it'll just kick you off, or all of the things that we did, like to get from there now to here in the span of like 6 months is pretty incredible to see, just this level of progression. But then with these other things that we have on the background, I'm like, if we got all this in 6 months and this was just like pretty like, okay, we're figuring this out. Like, what if he gave us a year? Like, how much are we going to have done at that point? So it is pretty cool. And it's nice when you can actually see and feel and experience that forward momentum as well, where it's not just like, oh, well, in the future, something, well, at some point, something. Like, it's always this idea that it will happen, but that it hasn't happened yet. Like, we get to live in this world of like, oh, we're making it happen right now too. And then we just get to ramp up those bigger ideas, as we get more of this foundation built. Now we get to start making the walls and all the other things and put that roof on there at some point as well. So I love that aspect about it, on top of all of the things that you guys had talked about. Now, before I let Louis go, since again, I wanted to be able to bring him up here as a surprise, but also just, to talk about and focus on that song you guys have together. Was there anything else, for the two of you that, you wanted to be able to announce before we, kind of get back and focus on just the Cesti, questions for you directly? Anything else that you'd want us to know?
Just stay positive.
I'll say this. 2026 and 2027 is gonna be a super lit year. Like those 2 years, just going from 2026 to 2027 is gonna be very special. I can feel it.
Yeah.
I can see some of it. Like, you know, and I just want to say this to anybody who's building a community. It's not just a group chat. Don't ever see it like that. I feel like that's where a lot of communities fail. They think about it just as a group chat. They do tournaments, but like there's no real intention behind them except getting more views and more. You got to really lock in, find people that are on your wavelength, and it's going to take a long time to get there, but you have to cut people off. You have to let people go and keep the ones that are actually there for what you're there for. Keep going and always think about the bigger picture. There's always a bigger picture, and make sure that you paint that bigger picture. And then you show your team, look, this is the bigger picture. Now go grab a paintbrush and, you know, add your stuff to it. You know what I mean?
Totally.
So, again, I just want to say that for anybody who's starting a community, anybody who has a community right now, the most important thing is having a team and having that team be on the same page. And again, 2026, 2027, watch out, because we're going to be everywhere. Trust me, we're going to be graffiti on fucking walls.
And you know what?
I'm telling you.
He does all the same things in Bozy that I do. And on top of it, he's on social media all the time.
Right.
So I give him props because I can do social media a little bit and then go behind the scenes again. He's like both. I think he, you know, and that to me is like, dang.
Well, and we were having this conversation the other night too, where I'm like, man, if Louis just ended up not showing up tomorrow, I would not be the one to take his place, because I'm like, you know what, I could do some of it, not the group chat, not the kicking people out and hurting the cats. That I could not do. Like, no. So I also give you massive props for that as well. So, all right, well, Louis, thank you again so much for joining us, for giving this surprise to Cestuiquvie. So thank you again so much, sir. I will let you go so we can finish up our interview, but I'm sure we'll see you again at another one down the line.
Maybe.
Maybe. All right, but love you, brother. Peace and love, man. We'll see you soon. All right. Oh, that was awesome.
Right.
I'm so yes, I'm so glad we got you there. So
April Fools.
Surprise! Yeah, exactly. I was like, April Fools. No, because he's really gonna be here, so that's not a joke either. Of course, that might, because then it's like, oh wait, Louis, like it's then you're disappointed, and then that's just not fun for anybody. So. So I wanted to be able to actually go to another song. And this is the sneak peek song that you had sent. And I wanted to be able to set this one up a little bit because, and you guys will understand when we play it, but was this a beat that you did all the way?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I thought. Because, or that's what I was wondering, because I think that this is super cool, like to set up something else or to be like the start of something. But again, you guys, this is just called sneak peek of a new song. So this is not titled yet. We don't have a direct name. That's how new this thing is. Yeah. So I actually like that, because this is the first time we've ever done a sneak peek song on artist. So this is a new thing for me as well. So I'm excited for this, but let me play you guys the new sneak peek song in the works. And that is exactly why I absolutely love that song. I think that the beat is so cool. It's absolutely one where I was listening to him. I'm like, oh, snap, I would want to get on this. Like, this is cool. But then it also ends at such a specific place that I wasn't sure if it was, oh, this is just what we have up to this point, or was this meant to be more like a direct intro song, or just like, oh, this is the start or the very end of the album, and we're just using this musical thing to kind of bring us into it or to end it for us? Like, what was your idea behind this? Like, is this just not all the way finished, or did you have that idea to kind of set it up as a thing that kind of either lends itself to start something or finishes it off?
This is the beginning of a song.
Okay, gotcha.
And it's doing its like its hype part to start doing a da, you know. So it's gonna go into it's gonna get like doo, and then it goes back down again back to that flow, and go back up for a second again, and then go ching. And then
Nice.
you know, it'll be like that part two where you're like, why did it just stop there? Because I had to listen to it again because it just stopped there. Why? And you're like, that's the point, baby. Listen to that song again.
Exactly.
But also share my songs.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. Yes. And I just pumped you into listening to this thing 14 times. How do I do it? How do I do it? No, I mean, and I really like this one because when we did the first interview, you know, you have some songs on there, and obviously we know that the Castle Walls Around My Heart was a Squid God beat, but you have some beats that are in there that are on that level too, where it's just like super crazy. Like, you don't really like there's no feeling of like, oh, I can tell where this beat is going to go, or that this is this really simple beat. Like, there's a lot of change ups. There's a lot of like, oh, and here's this new instrument, or here's this sound effect that wasn't there like 2 seconds ago. So I love that you do both, but then you can also come in with this type of beat as well, where I'm like, okay, yeah, like I would rock this, because I know, at least for me individually, I always have a harder time with the more like, you know, with the beats that feel like they are like the beat is almost the song itself, as opposed to the beat is simple enough where you're trying to get an artist to jump on there, to extend it and make it like a bigger thing than it was. So I love the fact that you do both of these, but with this one as being a brand new song, do you sort of already have it in your head about where it's going to end? Or do you create that in the moment? Like, oh, and then I just picked this new instrument sound, and oh, and now it took my brain on this whole other place and moved the beat into a place that I didn't see? Or do you kind of have like the start to the finish, maybe not mapped out for every single step, but like you've got an outline of where the beat will start and end at? Like, how does that work when you're actually creating?
Each song is different.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really hard to answer that question.
Yeah.
With this song, I already knew what I was going for, because I told you I'm getting into the scene out here with music. So I started to create a song based on a lot of things I started seeing. And I went to the salsa event recently.
Yep.
And I listened to some of that music, so I took that into my mind. Plus, kind of like that EDM dubstep style that I like, that dub and bass. Yep. And then, like, I went to the reggae festival, so I heard all that. So I think that this song kind of like did this meld of a little bit of everything.
Cool.
I'm not really sure where I'm playing at with this one. I'm just kind of flowing with it and meshing around to see what it is I'm looking for in sound.
Cool. Nice. Well, I mean, I really, really like this one as well, just in a general way. But with this type of a beat, and for this song, like when you are, and I mean, obviously, this might even be harder to answer than my last question, solely just because you never know who might get on it. But when you are sitting down and you're making a beat, or you have one that's finished, or you're, you know, about getting ready to, you know, to kind of, okay, yep, I'm almost got the last paintbrush swipe on there and it's almost 100% done. Do you have that idea in your mind ever of like, okay, with the way this beat sounds, I think I'd want to hear this type of artist on there with this type of an idea? Or do you kind of just let it go after the fact and be like, hey, whatever happens with it, happens with it? Or do you kind of have that idea like, I'd love to hear something like this, even if that's not what happens, but I'd love to, in my mind, I have like, this is like the end result as like the song that it might be for whoever that artist was that would hop on it.
Again, I think it's a little bit all over the place because sometimes I'm all of it. You know, there's like there's different songs for different things. A lot of the beats that I create are more or less a song to listen to, just the way it is. And then there's other beats I have that also are good to sing on. So like what I like to do is after I make the song, especially the ones that have the beat on it, you know, I hit up the individual who could possibly play on it. But because I'm like so busy, I'll think about the person, but I'm like, just not yet. Like I have things to do, so I'm just gonna focus on this. I'll at least put the songs out because my plan is as soon as I get all the songs I want there, then I can focus on other aspects of the business of like trying to like collaborate with other people with my songs, one thing at a time. But sometimes people hit me up and they're like, "Hey, can I join?" And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, okay." Or they're like, "Hey, do you want to join mine?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's cool." Because I kind of live in my own space. I live, you know, I'm just, so like when it comes to music, I'm kind of like, sure. I don't know. I don't think about it that much.
Gotcha. Okay. So then let me ask you this. When you're making beats, what is that like? How often is it, or maybe like a percentage wise, like if you can think of that in your mind, how often is it that you just like fall in love with the beat so much that you want to like, oh man, I was thinking about getting somebody else on here, but I love this beat so much, I have to be the only one that gets on it because just a vibe or a feeling like kind of took you. Like, does that happen very often, or do you kind of always like, I make the beats and I am an artist, but I don't mix the two together?
Okay. So I make my beats and I don't really think about other people singing on them all the time. It's more or less like I don't know that people like my music, but I like my music. And that's kind of like why I produce it and then put it out so I have it on a file so I can listen to it whenever I want. And the same reason I like to listen to like all my other friends' music too. So like I like the music I make though because it sounds cool. And so when I'm listening to it, I get very stimulated and then I start to sing, like I'll freestyle whatever's in my mind as I'm talking to my creator about like my life. Or like if I'm in public and I'm singing on stage, I freestyle my beats to whatever I know the audience needs to hear at the moment. I may not completely understand, but like I'm a vessel, and so I like allow myself to be like open to that, to like allow them to know what they need to hear. So I prefer my beats to be open where like I can always freestyle, or other people can freestyle on them but without recording. So that way they can allow themselves to, because okay, so like I'll explain. So me and Lou Shapes, we're actually remodeling that song. I told you I don't ever do that. The only reason I'm remodeling the song though is because I actually feel the song. Like I felt it the day that I felt it then, where I still feel it today. And so like me feeling that song and singing that is like the same feeling I had then. It's just like this mentality, the state of mind with my creator. And so like to be able to perform that like worship with my best friend who also is singing based upon the earth and like nature and growth and worshiping life itself. It's such a beautiful experience. And so I don't mind producing that again. And so like, but like some of my songs with a positive message, I try to stick with, you know, those are songs that are very few, but those are like moments that I could feel inside me that needed to be guided outward in such a way that there are very specific people in this world that need to hear it so it can remind them that they are loved, they are happy inside, they just need to find it. And we all have bad troubles and stuff. You know, we all have people who mistreat our niceness for whatever they feel like because they're mean. But at the end of the day, you are your best friend. And if you are spiritual and you believe in a creator, that also is a form of best friend. And so to me, you know, I like to listen to songs, and I listen to everyone's music because I really love everyone's creativity. But I am always learning. So like I love music that doesn't have lyrics sometimes, because sometimes I'm so tired from social media and working, or working on the paperwork, or you know, working house cleaning, that my mind's really tired. And so listening to songs that are just like open like that, instead of like allowing me to listen to a song with words, my mind will get tired more because I'm listening to something. But like when I just hear the beat, I can let my body go. And I just lay there and I'm just like imagining like happy stuff or whatever. And it's like a meditation. And then like when I'm done, I'm like, oh, I feel good to finish the rest of the day, or I don't know, whatever.
Yeah. Nice. Okay, I like that. I mean, and I think that is cool from the sense that it's like I'm the other way, where I have a harder time with beats that don't have any lyrics to them, unless it is I'm listening to beats to see if there's something that I connect with, as the understanding of that, knowing that this will become a song in the future, as opposed to I'm just listening to a beat for the sole purpose of just sitting down to listen and just listen, and then, you know, take that in, because I am more where I need to connect with a thing. And even though it is like all of the instruments that were put on there and all of that type of thing, like, you know, I was like, what was that? But that it's like, not that those aren't aspects that you can connect with, but it always just feels like to me individually that it's, I connect with the song, with the lyrics, with the person singing it and what vibe they give. And then if the beat enhances that even more, then it's like, oh man, now this song blew me away. Where I might not tend to get as like into it the same way that you talk about, where I'm like, but then I look at it and I'm also like, damn, I wish that I could be able to like experience just the music in that way to an extent too. Because I'm like, I wish I could have, you know, a almost that idea of like that, you know, out of body experience with something just like the beat and the actual, you know, sounds that make up, you know, what it is. So I love that you're able to do that, but it definitely also, you know, kind of goes along with that personality as well, that you are very like connected to things that are around you, as opposed to, oh, that's just a thing around me. Like you will try to get yourself connected to it, even if it is something, like you said, more spiritual and that, you know, type of vibe. So I like that you do that as well. So one of the questions that I also had as well with the move to Florida, and, you know, obviously you can always be able to find reggae music in any type of genre that you want in Colorado or wherever it is that you might be individually. But do you find yourself like, do you find that any of your music, like, the instruments that you would have picked before as more standard things when you were in Colorado, have you noticed any changes to either when you are making beats or when you are like sitting down to be able to write? Like has the actual location or the area inspired or changed anything like that? Like, do you notice yourself, you know, being, you know, moved to different stuff that maybe you weren't before?
So I've been traveling my whole life. My mother being an opera singer,
Right.
I've had an opportunity to always be everywhere. Then at 17, I was on my own, so then I started traveling all over the place myself. A lot more solo than with people, but I've done it both ways.
Yeah.
So when it comes to music, you definitely hear a more regional vibe in their music. even if it's saying reggae.
Right.
But it's like a folky reggae in Colorado.
Oh, okay.
Where out here, it's tropical reggae.
Yeah.
Like, like islandy type of beats with reggae.
Gotcha.
So that's what I would consider this reggae, because this reggae also has like some salsa into it too. A lot of Spanish, a lot of Cuban, it seems like. A lot of Spanish type of influence. Puerto Rican, probably.
Which definitely makes sense.
Yeah. So that's what I've noticed so far. There are differences in the types of music, even if it's the same genre. That's why traveling around the way I do is really important for me as a Bozy World member, Keeper of the Stars, because being in different regions, listening to, let's say, the same genre, helps me to define what it is I am listening to, and also the people I meet are influence on me because I am who I hang out with. So then my world starts to evolve, and the DNA within my soul changes with another evolvement of like idea that is coming to the table. So then, like, what's cool about it is not that I'm like searching necessarily for, you know, a specific, but I'm allowing myself to be like open and allowing positivity and love to resign within me, that I can also just be in the moment. Like, Earth is my playground, and I am always just experiencing the moment for what it is and seeing what evolves from me based on my perception of these things.
Right.
So I don't, outside of what I just stated, that's, I think, the closest thing I can describe to what you asked me.
Yeah. No, I like that. Oh, that's really cool. Well, and I guess as a quick aside to that, and just an additional question to put on there before we move on to the last song, in all of the places that you've traveled, you know, either within this last year or just, you know, throughout your whole life, like, is there any place that you can go back to and think, like you just said, like that amalgamation of all of those things put together, kind of giving that best experience? Like, is there any place that you have traveled to that you're like, okay, this gave me like the best of that experience, like when I was in this other country or this other place, like because of where I was or the music that was around or whatever the experience was, that you had that experience the most there comparatively to any place else? Has there been anything like that that's kind of like, wow, this one took me by surprise, or, you know, just a really big deal for you?
I kind of get myself around places. I'm really, you know how you're in high school and people had like genres of people they were friends with, you know, like you had your, I was never in anyone's genre. I was kind of everywhere. I hung out with everyone. I don't think anyone was really mad at me because I just was always like chilling everywhere, kind of hop around and kind of just do that. So, I think once you get into the music scene, it's like once you get into a door anywhere you want, depending on like using your wits and your skills to like kind of like understand your environment and like what is, like, you have to, the thing is, when you're doing stuff, you have to have an idea, a mental idea of what it is that you're trying to go for. So like when I'm going out and I'm searching for music, the music scene, and I'm searching for it in a positive, loving way, but it's experimental and, you know, all over the place and whatever, that I always get given that because I get guided to those places to go to that are specifically for that, you know? So I feel like anywhere I've gone, there's been so much music, so much creativity. They're just different style.
Gotcha.
But it's always just really cool.
Yeah.
Anywhere I've gone to. I love traveling. I've been to a lot of places, almost all the United States. And I genuinely have loved all the nature spots because I've been to all the national parks out here. I
Cool.
also really love some of the cities too, just because they all just, I don't know, they're just really cool and people are really cool. The food, the culture, but no, nothing that's really stood out. I mean, because I don't think that I don't have like a discrepancy. You know what I mean? It's not like my mindset is going to like visualize this or that when I'm showing up. It's more or less like this is what I would like to see. I'm not really sure what I'm going to be, what's going to happen when I get there. So I'm not really like thinking that much about it when it appears. So my judgment on it was never there. So I'm kind of basing it on just however it was being given.
Gotcha. Okay, nice. I like that. Well, and I really like that idea that you said that it's like, oh, the world guides me to it. Like, you know, the you know, whatever that means for you, like, oh, I will show up where I'm going to get that experience, as opposed to I was here at this place and I just got it randomly. So I really like that, actually, that it's almost more like, you know, the world is looking out for you to give you that experience regardless of where that you are. You know, as opposed to, oh, well, when we were at this and this and this and this happened, and then, oh, it was the perfect experience. Like, no, you should always be able to find that wherever. So I really like that. That's really good. Okay, so I wanted to be able to play the final song that we have of the 5 that you had sent over. And this song is called Every Girl on the Way Up. But when you see the title On the Way Up is, you know, OTWU. So, but I remember I was having to ask her right before we got this started, because I'm like, what does that mean? Because it's just like, it just says Every Girl OTWU. And I'm like, and then she finally said it. I'm like, oh, nice. Okay, I like that. That's cool. So let's press play. Press play. Now I'm getting it all messed up here. Every Girl on the Way Up.
I love you all the way. Who are we to be? Fighting for freedom. He has his heart, and she has his skirt.
She can see me right though, cause if she see me, I can't breathe. Lungs in her are enemies.
Infinity of victory.
La-di-da-di-da.
And so that one, I do love that song. And that one is one I do remember going over and listening to when we did the initial interview. So that was the one of the ones that you sent over that I'm like, okay, that one I do remember. And I didn't realize at the beginning when we started this interview that Golden Gates was one that you had done that far in the past. Also, actually, Shapes as well. I didn't realize that was like all the way back in like 22, you know, when you and Louis had first met and before I was ever around in regards to Bosley World in a specific way. So again, like I talked about at the beginning, that you have a song of the ones that you sent with, you know, almost, or well, of the features, every one of them was a feature that was an admin. When you're, you know, doing these songs, and I guess in a sense, when you say Every Girl on the Way Up, what does the on the way up mean? Like what, like that part of the song, like what does that mean? Like just the people are the ones that you'll like not go through, but like, is it like, oh, that idea of like till you find the right one, or is like, what is that idea behind the actual title?
On the way up, man. Okay. I'm just kidding. No. So like Light's idea of the song, you know, was just talking about like the positivity, you know, like all the weight of the world trying to like lay you down, and how we as humans are always elevating for our own better health. our health when it's coming to be physical, spiritual, mental, and just like kind of being like oh, what's her name? Superwoman? Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Nice. Nice. I like that. And so with this song, was this one that Light had come to you wanting to do, or was this one that you brought to him as an open song for that you wanted him to hop on with you?
This is his song.
Okay, so this is his one. Okay, nice.
He was working on this song. He had put it on Instagram. Mm-hmm. And at this time, I didn't really know him too well. Whoops. And so I was still trying to like figure him out a bit. Mm-hmm. And then I heard this song. See, and I was in love with it because I like positivity. So when I heard it, I was like, this is literally me. And so I was like, hey, let me jump on that. And he was like, yeah, okay, like do your thing.
Yeah.
So we got on BandLab together and we started working on the song. And we ended up talking on the phone a lot because it's really hard for me to sing with someone if I don't know them. I know that sounds weird, but that's just the way I am. Like, it's almost like I'm naked, but I'm spiritually naked. So, like, if I'm going to have to work with you, like, I need to know who the fuck you are so I can sing the way I want to sing without, like, feeling like I don't fucking know this guy or this girl or whatever, It's not naked, but it's just,
No, but
so, he wanted me to sing to it, and then he's like, it took 2 weeks or something, and he was like, why is it taking so long? It really should just take, like, a few hours, why are you doing this? And I'm like, listen, okay, it's taking me a long time because I don't know you, and I need to know you so I can make the song. So he's like, okay, dude, it's really not that big of a deal. You're overthinking this. Then we talked a lot, got to know each other. So he's, they are really cool. And then as I knew Light more, I realized that whatever it was, because I told you I freestyle my music, and I freestyle it based on what needs to be said. So then when I heard the song, it's like I almost heard it from a different angle, and I started singing, but I was talking to him.
Oh,
so
okay.
I was talking to Light in this song based on what Light was writing or singing. And when it came to the end where Light, you can hear ha ha ha, I actually told Light to do that because it was kind of a little spot that was open. And I said, what would be funny if you did almost like a Joker laugh, but don't do a Joker laugh, but just do like a ha ha ha. Like, I was like, I hear it in my head. I know when I'm saying it's not coming out the same way, but it would just sound really cool. And he was like, I think I know what you're talking about. I'm like, well, hopefully. And he did it way more perfect than I was, because it was exactly what I thought. And so he saw that. And so it turned, that song was cool. It was fun to make.
Okay, nice. And so now in regards, and actually, and for everybody that's listening right now, and thank you so much for everybody that is still here with us. And don't worry, guys, I'm watching. I know who's been here this whole time. So I really appreciate everybody rocking with us for, almost 2 hours now. But she did that exact same thing to me when we were working on our song that we did for the EP that she had mentioned earlier. It was that same way where there was a song that she did want to sing on, and it was like not an automatic, like, oh, just get on it. It was like when she was there with treble off, it was easier. But if it was just only me, it was like, so that is at least something that you do consistently across the board. Like, that's not just like a joke or like an anecdote. Like, she does that all the time. So I definitely think, like, as a 100%, yep, I've seen it, actually real. That is definitely a true statement. So we have had the chance to be able to listen to all of the songs that you sent over.
Thank you.
I have kind of gone through all of my main questions that I had. And so just like I've done at all of the other interviews, because I don't have anything like directly else that I, have a specific question on that I'd wanted to be able to ask you to be able to, give to the audience. So I just kind of want to be able to give you the floor now, for the last couple minutes, and just, anything you want to be able to let the people know, hey, get ready for this 2025, whatever it is, or just in general, just talk to the people, let them know what you want them to, tell them what you want them to know.
First of all, RPG, Red, Purple, Gold, is literally the most amazing, fashionistic creature I've met. And I'm very smart and intelligent and very witty. So I appreciate you for letting me to talk here with you, because I enjoy it every time I do. And to the audience out here, I just want to say that there's a festival happening in about a year and a half, maybe a little bit more.
Yep.
You all should come hang out with us. We're going to have a lot of fun. It's just a celebration. People getting together, enjoying what we love most, which is people, love, music, food, culture, and embracing life the way we're supposed to. And that is what we came on this earth to do. So, and outside of that, just try to stay positive. Think of 5 things that you are happy for whenever you get sad or stressed out or even mad. And the more you do this, the more happier you'll start becoming with time, and you'll find more things you're happy about. So remember, you are loved even if you don't feel like you are. Because here at Bozy, we care about you.
Love that. All right. That is very, very well said. I appreciate that. And I mean, 100% true. Nothing to be able to do but agree, absolutely and wholeheartedly on that statement. All right, guys. Well, again, we are now, here at the end of episode 22. It still blows my mind in regards to just that we've been doing this for that long. And, we've had, probably now close to 10 of these here actually on StreamYard after we did that move away from Instagram. But Cestuiquvie, thank you again so much for taking time to join us tonight for round 2 for your Artist on Artist Spotlight. I think that, again, it's so great, every one of them that we do, but it's always just like my favorite part is just to see, hey, what are we going to talk about today? Like, I know that my questions will mold and send us in directions, but yet it's always such a, experience and definitely an adventure every time.
Every time. Again, I appreciate you.
Hey, absolutely. I appreciate you. All right, guys. So again, if we've still got 4 people in here listening live to this right now. So thank you, everybody that joined us either anytime or that have been rocking with us this entire time. So again, like I said, definitely get subscribed to the Bozy World YouTube page. Turn on all those notifications so that you don't miss this episode or any episode coming up in the future. Also, guys, definitely take a look at the Bozy World page, and you can be able to look at all of the previous Artist on Artist talks and interviews. You can be able to take a look at any of the previous reviews that we've done that have been on StreamYard. So definitely take a look at the content that we have here on the channel, and definitely get tapped in with us, on the group chat and as part of the community as a whole. And, if you also want to get set up for your own Artist on Artist interview as well, definitely hit up myself, Cestuiquvie, any one of the Bozy World admins, and we can be able to get you on the calendar as well. But again, Cestuiquvie, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. And guys, that's all we have for this episode 22 of Artist on Artist Spotlight. Peace and love, everybody. And let's end it out the right way with that outro.
What up? It's your boy RPG. Red, purple, gold. Kilos. Panoramic roof. Bitch, I'm red, purple, gold. RPG. My strength will never fold. My heart is never frozen cold. I'm the best. Yeah, that's what I've been told. 1, 2, 3. My voice has been freely sold. Luxury in my life is all I know. It's all I know. But I will never sell my soul. Never sell it. I won't.